Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with another layout in our Scrappy Advent Calendar series. So this one is for Jess's calendar for the month of October, and it is a photo of my dad with his 3 grandsons. And I am using mostly, or actually not mostly, I'm using some supplies from the Cool Kid collection from Crepe Paper, which is an older collection, but I'm really just using some of the 6x6 papers, and I don't even think I use any of the ephemera in the end. I use a couple of the ephemera pieces, but otherwise everything else just comes from my stash. Now this I actually made as part of a challenge in the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, which was to be inspired by a member there, and so this is what I created. And it's a bit of a layering look, so I literally just layer and layer and layer and layer and layer all sorts of random bits and pieces. So I use mainly like tags and other kind of ephemera bits. I have done a layout like this already, which you would have seen in my layout share for September, I think, or October maybe. No, I think it was September. And I made a layout that was the same kind of technique where I used layers and layers and layers, and that was the challenge that was given to us for that month, was to follow a design done by Kathy, and so we did that, Scrappy Kathy. And so yeah, we created this type of layout. So you can see me here, I've got a couple of those big ephemera pieces that I wanted to use that says boys will be boys and ready, set, go time, because it's a photo of my dad with his grandsons, and so I thought that would be cool. I'm using a background piece of cardstock from Vicky Booten. What are they called? Let me get the pad out. I think they're just called Ready to Use Mixed Media Paper. So they are 12 by 12s with already mixed media designs on them. And they're actually really cool. I've used quite a few. So I'm glad I bought those. And I think they're a thicker cardstock than normal. So I think they can be used, so you could put more mixed media on top of them if you wanted to. So that's a bit of fun. And this one sort of has greens and blues kind of watercoloured onto the background. So I used that for my base. I pulled out a couple of the 6x6 papers from the Cool Kid collection, and then I end up backing my photo on white cardstock, and now I'm basically just creating layers behind it. I was going to edit out some of this, but I thought, no, it didn't take me very long, so I'll just leave it in, and you can see. I tried to use my ATG gun on this fabric tag, or label, I guess it is, that I'm sticking onto now, but that did not work. So get out the double-sided tape and I stick that fabric label down and I tuck that in, and all I'm doing, as I said, is creating layers. And the reason why I liked this technique is because it uses up a lot of stuff, and I think the end result is pretty cool. So I didn't add as many layers this time around as I did the first time I kind of used this technique, but I still add quite a few. So you can see I've got a little bag down there, a little striped bag that I've tacked a couple of tags into. Now I'm sort of looking at how can I incorporate some of the 6x6 papers. So you can see here that I've got that the one with the craft background paper, and I'm just adding in some more little bits and pieces. I wanted to pull in some green because there's a lime green in the background paper. However, I basically cover it anyway, so you can't even tell. And so you can see here I've got this kind of photo strip type paper, so it kind of ephemera piece, or frame I guess you'd call it actually. So it's mimicking a photo strip, and I've had a lot of trouble using them, I'll be honest, so it was great to be able to layer one of those into this, and now I'm going to just continue to build up the layers. That's it. I don't probably need to talk through exactly what I'm doing because I am just layering and just tucking in bits and pieces where they fit and not really kind of overthinking it too much. I'm just sticking things down, to be honest, and just sort of going with things that look roughly balanced, because I still want it to be balanced, but I'm just popping it in. So you can see I really wanted to include that tag because it had the pop of yellow, and there's a few other little pops of yellow in the layers as well. So I wanted to balance out that yellow. So I'm adding that in, and I wanted to add that little tag on somewhere. It doesn't end up going there, that one that says details, but I do get that on the layout as well. Tucking that in, I end up basically covering it so you can't even tell, but it's got some cool like sparkle elements on the side which I thought were cute. I think I'm adding in the last piece of 6x6 paper and then having a think about how it's all going to fit on my cardstock. I thought I wanted to use that other film strip or photo strip in the craft colour, but I decided that one was enough. It looked a little bit too unbalanced to have two. So you can see here now I'm just sticking down the last two pieces of the 6x6 paper, and then I will add a few things. So I am, as I said, just sticking down that last 6x6, and then I did decide that I wanted to add a couple more little elements because I didn't think it was quite ready. So when I said I'd add a few more things, I mean other pieces, not just layering pieces. So I'm still layering up the last few, and then I will stick this whole kind of concoction flat onto my layout. But then I do want to add a few other just little finishing touches, as well as obviously a title. I don't want to go too overboard with embellishing as such, because this whole layered thing is the feature and is an embellishment all on its own, I guess. So I didn't need to embellish really, but I just wanted to add a few little pops of fun onto the layout. And I do add some random things, I'll be honest. Things that I've never used before and have been in my stash for years and actually probably need to be thrown out, but it was a good to sort of pull things out and just see if I would still using them or could still use them. So these are the couple of pieces of ephemera from the Cool Kid collection. So the little banner that said something about flying was from the Cool Kid collection, and then I end up using these two ephemera pieces, Boys Will Be Boys and Ready Set Go Time. So I'm just sticking those in now, and because they're so large and the writing is so dominant, that's why another reason why I decided not to go too overboard with any more embellishing. I did try to add some things from the 12x12 chipboard sheet that in the matching collection, but it just wasn't going to work. There was too many other big embellishment pieces, and I didn't want to, I guess, take away from the layering effect that I've got going on. So I'm tucking in this little lime green label piece, just underneath the photo there, just to bring in a little bit more of that kind of lime green colour. And then I've got a couple of little banners, craft banners that I'm adding in. I just wanted to trim off. They had like an eyelet on the end, but I just cut that off, and so I could tuck it under. I did end up adding that flying ephemera piece. I can't even remember what it said, something about flying, but I knew that I wouldn't use it on a layout, so I decided to add it in there. It said Ace Flight School. Sorry, I was just looking at the ephemera pack, but I was never going to use that on a layout on its own, so I decided to just layer that in as another little detail, because it's a little triangle detail. Now, this is where I'm adding in my title after I check out the 12x12 chipboard sheet and realize that there's nothing really that's going to work, and then I pull out my title, which is Fun with Grandpa. Now, what happens next is very annoying. My phone runs out of space, so it stops recording. Now, the bulk of the layout is done, and I will add some still photos at the end and explain what I have done just to finish off the layout. But really, you didn't miss anything apart from me sticking down a few little of the little detail bits that I was talking about earlier. Just some wood veneer and some puffy stickers just to finish it off. So we're done. I don't record anymore. It stops any minute now. Again, I'm just checking the chipboard sheet. I wanted to include some of the chipboard from that collection, but it just wasn't going to work. So I do end up putting that aside. I think about including that one, which I think says boy, and the definition is a noise with dirt on it, which is super cute. So here's some still photos just to show you. So I added some heart star puffy stickers, some little tiny round wood veneer that says fun, hello, and rad, and some random animal puffy stickers, and that's it. That's how I finished it. Oh, and I added some splatters of silver mist. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I hope you like it, and we will see you in tomorrow's video. All right, guys, bye.